Today I'm going to be harvesting some fig leaves for tea. I like to harvest them, wash them, and dehydrate them. And then when they're really dry, I grind them up and we use that in our tea during the winter. And oh look, we're still actually getting some figs, which is pretty awesome. I didn't think I was going to get any more, but that's cool. A cool thing I wanted to show you today though is I accidentally started more tomatoes, and how I did that is I was saving my seeds from a tomato. And what I do when I save my seeds is I actually put the seeds in water and let them soak to get the soft exterior off of the tomato seed. And what happened is they were germinating. I left them in the water too long, and I thought, wow, well, I can't dry these now and save them, because what's going to happen is they won't live, right? But the cool thing is I thought, let's just we'll go ahead and put these out and start them. And I didn't know if they'd have enough time to actually make more tomatoes, but I'm seeing now that we're actually getting some blooms on, which is fabulous. This is our baby fig. Gonna get some leaves off of that as well. This is pretty pristine looking. Just checking to see how we're doing with these sweetness melons. I harvested some of these before they were ripe, and let me tell you, the next time I harvest one, I'm gonna be waiting till it splits, because unfortunately, if you harvest these and they're not ripe, they're very bitter. So they go from being sweetness melons to bitter melons. But you can see the sweetness melon is pretty happy. It's like growing all over the place. And it's trellising on our figs, so that's cool too. I don't know if we're going to get tomatoes on all of the tomatoes that came up from seed. Like, some of these probably aren't getting quite enough sunlight, but they are developing. We have a tomatillo that decided to take off and do good, which is wonderful because I love tomatillos. We've got a bee in there, which is really cool. We need all the help from the bees we can get. Let's see if I can zoom in. He's moving pretty fast. And the eggplants, I just picked a whole bunch of eggplants. I'm finding that you don't want to wait too long to pick them. I mean, they'll actually stay quite a while on the plants, but I think the ants or whatever will try to infiltrate, so don't leave them on there too long. We're starting to get some rotundi eggplants as well. They've really enjoyed this humidity that we've had. And we've got some basil going back here, along with some peppers. I'm waiting to see if we get any peppers on. I've been pruning these leaves back just to make sure that the pepper plants are getting enough light, because in the past I've noticed that if they don't get enough light, they don't really do very well as far as production of peppers. But who knows, maybe it'll happen. Oh, hey, I see one back here. Yay! We are starting to get some peppers. And there's a bee. I better get out of here. Don't want to get stung. And the cucumbers are doing fabulous. Get off of me. Cucumbers are doing fabulous. Oh my gosh. So I picked one that was like a normal size, and now I've got a huge one back here, but we used up the other one, so I'm definitely going to be picking that one. It's going to go in our salad, and maybe even in some cucumber water, and maybe even some juice. But I really got to find a good pickling recipe for cucumbers. I've done some fermented ones, but I think I'd like to make some pickles that can actually be preserved for longer use. And we're getting kumquats. Well, we actually got some at the beginning of the season, but with this rain and the cooler temperatures, it's actually putting on quite a few more. These kumquats are really hardy when it comes to droughts. They're definitely drought resistant, but they're not going to put as many kumquats on if it's not getting as much water as it would like. And this is our grapefruit, where we're only getting 2 grapefruit this year, thanks to the critters, as opposed to 11, which is what we normally get. But it literally doubled in size, so that's one benefit. I guess not having as much grapefruit this year, is we're probably going to get more next year, now that we have a bigger tree. But look, this dwarf ruby red grapefruit actually puts on full-size grapefruit. That is a huge grapefruit. It's like bigger than my fist. And there's another one in here someplace. Oh, right there. Right there. So 2 of these actually We're missed by the critters, but it smells good in here. Actually smells like grapefruit. That's pretty amazing. But these won't get ripe probably till December. And these are the tomatoes that we originally planted. Before the storm started, I was out here getting some of that dry, dead plant material off. But I think these are going to produce more tomatoes. We'll see. Only time will tell. That would be awesome. We gotten a couple, and I bagged them. And we've been growing some carrots and some basil in with the tomatoes. They're companions, along with some catnip. That catnip has really been great for our garden this year. And it hasn't really attracted cats in a problematic way into our yard. So that's good also. Although I'm starting to welcome the cats a little bit because this looks pretty happy. Starting to welcome cats when they come through because, you know, maybe they'll take out some of the rat population. Because unfortunately, rats are a problem here when you live in the suburbs outside of a big city. This asparagus that we got this year has been pretty interesting. Normally it takes a long time to get asparagus, but this asparagus that I ordered actually made some tiny asparagus spears, or actually something you could actually eat. Like I would walk through and see one and snap it off and eat it, right? But so I'm thinking next year we're probably going to get possibly some nice asparagus, but you can see it's quite happy in this location. And we have some more tomatoes over here. I don't know if these are going to get big enough back here, but they're back here. And some squash that's blooming now, which is nice. The squash really hadn't been doing much for me this year so far. I've only harvested one spaghetti squash so far. I'm happy to report we've got a bee out here though. The bees always help. Seen quite a few blooms, so that's awesome. Over here we have our pomegranate. And we've harvested 2 of these. It's a little early. Oh my gosh, I think I just saw a leaf-footed beetle. Those guys are definitely our nemesis if they're out here. I just saw something big. Because those things will literally lay larvae on your pomegranates and even your almonds, we discovered last year. And when they do that, the larva actually buries into the fruit and ruins it. And we have a very ripe pomegranate. I'm actually going to have to pick this one right here before anything can get to it, right? I'm going to have to keep an eye on this tree. So over here on this side of the wall, definitely going to keep an eye on this and make sure we don't have any leaf-footed beetles. Oh, what did I do? Oh, it's a hummingbird. Hey, baby. I love the hummingbird. They're so awesome. And we're getting lemons. You can see pretty well now. Look at these guys. This is amazing. This is going to be the best lemon year we've had. And we had a little bit of problem with this tree. It started to get brown rot, which is a type of fungus. And so I removed any leaves and fruit that actually looked like it was affected. And I'm happy to report it has not spread. And I treated it with an antifungal orchard spray, which is one of the more earth-friendly bug repellents along with fungicidal treatment that you can use. We try to be pretty earth-friendly here in this yard. It uses both a component of daisies and it uses Bacillus thumbrogaris, and I think it has a little copper in it, possibly, for the fungus. I don't remember for sure, but of all the sprays that I've researched that you can use in your orchard that are professional sprays, it is one of the best. And we have a paddle cactus back here, also known as prickly pear cactus. That's actually the proper name for it. Oh, we've got some more figs up here. I'm gonna have to get my husband to help me. Right there. Those are a little high for me to reach. Maybe with a step stool. Maybe with a step stool. Soon we're going to be grafting onto this lemon. Yep, well actually, soon we're going to be grafting onto this mandarin rootstock, which was overtaken by the rootstock, and I have a graft here that's doing really well. And what I've done is I've left greenery coming out of the top of each one of these just so that the sap continues to flow. But I'm not letting it set on the rootstock foliage all over because that's a lot of work to get rid of. But I'm really thinking about possibly trying to graft in areas in addition to the top of these branches, but in areas where the rootstock was trying to bud out, right? Because that might be a location where the tree wants to grow. We might have a little more success that way. But I think once the temperatures drop, we're going to do better. We'll find out. I don't know how many people actually do fall grafting, but we're going to try it and see what happens. We definitely had some success. We're definitely going to at least have one branch of this tree that's a lemon tree. So let's just take a look at our grow room. This room has been pretty interesting. It's been a journey for sure, a learning experience, just between the temperatures, controlling the humidity, not letting it get too hot, and dealing with bugs, right? Spider mites, those things are everywhere here. But we've had really good success with radishes room, and we have some beets going down here. We have some spinaches and kales down here, and some bok choy. And believe it or not, I'm trying to grow some dandelions in this tray. It's the first time I've ever tried to grow dandelions, and I haven't watered out here yet. I need to do that. Peppers have really liked this space. Getting one right here. This is a green chili pepper. And these are saved seeds from some Italian peppers that I bought, the sweet peppers. I bought these at Sprouts, and they were long and curly, and they were red, purple, and yellow. And I saved the seeds, and they germinated, and now they are starting to put buds on to bloom. So it's going to be very interesting to see if we get a true pepper, or if we just get a bell pepper, or what we get actually. You see this plant has really enjoyed draping over the edge, but I've really had to stay on my spider mite spray, because the spider mites, they'll just eat your plant. And how you tell that you have spider mites, sometimes they get big enough you can see them, but they're tiny. You just kind of start seeing like little white specks where they've sucked the life out of the leaf, or they're going to. Like right here on this one, you can see it pretty good, right? And the other thing to do when you're living someplace where you have spider mites is keep harvesting. Harvest frequently so they don't have an opportunity to really establish themselves or do too much damage. These are some tomatoes, and I've struggled with the tomatoes, but these ones are coming around, and they're supposed to be dwarf heirloom tomatoes. At least they were when I was growing them hydroponically, but so for some reason in this room they want to get tall. But we are getting some buds on them, so hopefully we'll get some tomatoes. They do look a little rough. You can see the spider mites have been attacking the basil. It's buggers. We have Swiss chard in here, and we have some Chinese cabbage and some bok choy, and you can actually see the spider mites on this. Gotta get my spray out here and get spraying. There's never enough time in the day. I tell you, I just have a hard time getting it all done. But we have peppers going up here, and you can see they're blooming. That's awesome. I have more tomato seedlings coming up here too, and that's really awesome. I feel like the tomatoes are going to do better as the temperatures come down. It's possible that they really just don't like the heat that much, even with this air conditioning unit. And this Thai chili pepper right here, this thing has been awesome. This is one of the first plants I put out here almost a year ago, and it has thrived. It really likes this space, and it's going to be a perennial. You can see we're starting to get another pepper over here. See if I can blow this a bit. Right there. See that setting on? Isn't that cool? And more. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.